Hello people, and welcome back to a new video. Before we start, I want to remind you about hitting the subscribe button. Today, we will have a look at the evolution of Johnsrud Sundby's skating technique. If you have watched some of my earlier videos about this guy, you probably know the story pretty well already. For many years, Sundby was a decent skier. He was a part of the national team, he competed in the World Cup and performed at a high level. However, he was far from the best in the world. After a huge disappointment in the Olympic Games in Vancouver in 2010, he changed everything and left no stone unturned for the next 10 years of his career. One of the biggest changes he did was his skating technique. He hired a skilled coach and put in countless hours on the roller ski treadmill. He also implemented a lot of additional exercises, such as core training, balance board, activation exercises, etc. 1 year into this new training regime, the results were drastically different. In the 30-kilometer in the World Championships in Oslo in 2011, he finished 5th, which was a huge improvement from the year before, where he was number 33 in the 15-kilometer individual freestyle race. As you can see in these clips, the balance is maybe the biggest change. In Vancouver, he wasn't able to stand comfortably over the skis due to a lack of balance. There were several changes in his technique, but this detail is maybe the most significant between 2010 and 2011. Fast forward to the later half of 2012. Sundby had been working like crazy for the last 1.5 years, and when 2012-2013 season started, he had just totally leveled up. In the first World Cup race of the season, he managed to win his first victory in a skate race ever at this level. However, even though he won, you could still see that there was room for improvement. Sundby is born in 1984, so that means he turned 29 years old in 2013. It's very interesting that a guy who started making these changes at the age of 26 managed to achieve these unbelievable improvements as an adult. This goes to show that if you really commit and go all in, the age isn't necessarily a limitation, just like I mentioned about Johnsrud last week. This is a very similar case. Between 2013 and 2014, Sundby became even more obsessed about optimizing every single aspect contributing to performance. He won Tour de Ski 2014, and at this point in time, his V2 skating started to become notorious, and many people were talking about how incredible it was. Even in these challenging conditions with deep snow, you can notice how efficient the skating is. The balance is incredible, the upper body use is very effective, the stability is unbelievable, and the length of each cycle is amazing. The angles and overall positions are also spot on. High hip position, phenomenal utilization of the body weight, incredible rhythm, etc., etc. But we aren't done yet. Even from this crazy level, Sundby managed to become both a better technician and an overall faster cross-country skier the next couple of years. In 2015, he destroyed Petter Northug in the last stage of the Tour de Ski, and as you can see in this video, there is a huge gap between these two. One of them is pushing V2, even though the hill is very steep, while the other one has to use V1. In general, V2 will be a more effective technique, at least if you're strong enough to use it. This technique has a huge potential and is without doubt the most important technique to master if you want to skate fast. It's a very, very powerful style that you should try to optimize, because a phenomenal V2 is a real trump card in competitive skiing. Simon Krüger is a good example of a guy who has a perfected V2 style, which is one of the most important reasons why he is so successful. Sundby did of course improve all the skating techniques. It wasn't only the V2 that changed, but this became his real signature style. By the way, who do you think has a better V2? Prime Sundby or Prime Krüger? Let me know in the comment section down below. Fast forward to the later half of 2015. When the season started, he had amazingly enough leveled up once again. Here he is again versus Northug, who is once again using his classic V1 style, and Sundby is using V2. In this race, Sundby started 1 minute behind Northug, but he managed to beat him by roughly 60 seconds. Look at this. This is absolute peak performance and world-class skating. The efficiency is just insane, and you can see how fast they're moving. In steep terrain like this, He has actually a quite significant forward lean of the upper body and quite deep knee angle. I don't think I've ever seen many displays of V2 skating that's better than this. By the way, this was the season he also implemented more specific double poling training, and as he said himself, he could feel the transferability from improved double poling power over to V2 skating as well. Sundby demonstrated complete domination in the Tour de Ski 2016 and won with an unbelievable margin. At this point in time, he had probably reached the peak of his career, and a big part of the reason was because of the optimized skating technique. He had been focusing on many different details for many years, but this year everything kind of came together both physically and technically. Here he is again, in February 2016, together with the other Norwegian elite skiers in a World Cup race. Same thing again. The V2 is just at another level compared to everyone else. All the force is going in the right direction. So yeah, I just wanted to make this video to show the technical evolution of one of the greatest skiers of all time. I think he's very interesting, because there aren't many guys like this who first were at a decent level like many others, and then totally changed and separated himself from the pack within a few years, and all of these changes happened between the age of 26 and 32 years old. It's truly inspiring, and there is a lot to learn from this man. In a future video, we can do an in-depth analysis of his skating technique as well. Today's video wasn't meant to be too nerdy and detailed, but we can definitely have a look at that later if you're interested. Thank you for watching and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already.
Mange var skeptiske til at du skulle gå.
Ja,
Noen i hvert fall.
folk har jo ikke helt troa på skøyteegenskapene mine, og det skjønner jeg med det jeg har prestert opp igjennom, men jeg jobbet utrolig hardt med det, og tatt det veldig seriøst for å nettopp klare å være med og jobbe og kjempe igjen på en duatlon-distanse.
Beinhardt arbeid funker ganske greit da. Man kommer langt med sinnssykt hardt arbeid og det å ikke gi seg.